Joining us, our Friday night regular, former Queensland Liberal Premier and Sky News regular, Campbell Newman. Campbell, how are you?
G'day, Steve. Great to be with you.
Oh, did you ever think you would see a picture of a royal prince in the back of a car being arrested by London bobbies?
No.
Shit. It's unbelievable.
Before I went to bed last night, I saw it breaking. I was just like absolutely gobsmacked, you know. Just extraordinary times. And, you know, it's history in the making, really.
Absolutely. Is Patterson right about the defence spending?
Oh, absolutely. And, look, the trouble is, look, we've committed to this very important subs project, very expensive, but it can't be allowed to sort of gobble up the rest of the necessary expenditure in defence for the Air Force and the Army. Those other services have very important needs as well in the defence of Australia. And it's no good that the government just says, well, we're going to do this big project and that's it. It really, the moment that AUKUS was envisaged and committed to, well, there really was frankly a need to expand the defence budget. And another thing I'd say, look, if the Albanese government don't want to sort of kowtow to President Trump's sort of edicts about increasing of defence expenditure, but want to go their own way, then we have to be far more self-reliant anyway, and that will mean higher expenditure. I don't mind either way, which probably, you know, I'm a proud Australian. The way I'd like to be far more self-reliant, but we're going to have to actually spend more money on this particular part of the budget.
There'd be a lot of things I'd much prefer spending on. Defence is one of them. I can list a number of things that I'd rather they didn't spend on. Let's talk about state politics. South Australia now. This is extraordinary. The Liberal Party, and I know you will have looked at this and thought, well, yeah, I could see that coming. They risk being wiped out completely. The latest news poll shows they could fail to hold a single seat in that election, which is not far away. Peter Malinauskas has had a thumping victory. And again, it's one nation. I mean, could we see the Liberal Party in my old state fall to maybe 1 or 2 or 3 seats? It's possible, isn't it?
Well, it certainly is. And in 2011, 2012, the Labor Party came a cropper in the state of Queensland, you know, when I was up against them. So they were down to 7. But it could happen here. And that primary vote, I think, of 14% is testament to, you know, a lack of leadership from the Liberal Party and a lack of clear policy differentiation up against a sort of a right, well, as much as you can in the Labor Party, a right-wing Labor Premier who's playing it so damn well throughout the whole time that he's been in office. So, yeah, I think they've got in real strife. One of the interesting things will be to see if that One Nation vote is as high on election day, given the controversy about Senator Hanson's comments on Muslims in the last few days. I think that it will probably hold up actually at this stage. But I've always said that, you know, the biggest obstacle for One Nation is for them, if they want us actually, you know, break through the next glass ceiling, if I can call it that, is to be seen as, you know, not just a protest party, but a party that's actually got, you know, policy depth and could govern. So anyway, I don't think it's looking too good for the Libs at the South Australian election. Look,
the best 2 politicians, I reckon, in the country are Malinauskas in South Australia, and here at Sky tonight we had a speech from New South Wales Premier Chris Minns, who was just outstanding, talking about, you know, the importance of something like Sky News and the new name and all of that stuff. But those 2 are just very good performers. I want to talk about this fast train. Now, I reckon in my journalistic career, I would have written about fast train projects 25 times from about 1975 onwards. We still haven't got one. Now we're talking about spending $90 billion just to build a line between Sydney and Newcastle, with most of it in a tunnel. That is never going to happen.
Steve, I sort of got my sort of real reputation for getting things done in politics through building tunnels in Queensland and having what was seen as being an out there sort of vision. So I'm not a knocker naturally, but I'm also a businessman, and I go, you know, why do we need a fast train between Sydney and Newcastle? Like, it would be great. And by the way, to those Novocastrians this evening, I love your city. story behind that. Haven't got time, but so look, it would be great, but surely it's Sydney, Melbourne. I could buy a vision for that. I mean, I think it was an episode of that ABC show Utopia where they were talking about fast trains. Look, it's just look. I think, and why is the federal government sort of pushing it when the state government seem almost like they're not interested? I mean, like. Would people get back in their lane? I mean, go back to defence. I mean,
let me give you a hint.
Yeah,
I'll give you a hint. To change the discussion this week away from ISIS brides in Syria and get people to talk about a fast train, that's never going to happen. That's the hint.
That could be it. That could be it, mate.
I mean, seriously. I mean, I love fast trains. I've been to Japan more than a dozen times. I travel on them when I go to Europe. They are a brilliant piece of infrastructure and transport. But the federal government's broke. New South Wales Premier has already said he's not putting any money into it. And how does the rest of Australia feel? How do all our great mates in Queensland feel that we're going to spend $90 million getting a few people between Sydney and Newcastle and back again?
Yeah, that's all part of my thinking, mate. I just think it's not. It's just not the right project in a list of national priorities, not by any stretch of the imagination. And, think of all the coal-fired power stations or indeed, nuclear power stations that the Labor Party say aren't economical and cost a whole lot of money. I mean, for $90 billion, I think we could sort of, if you believe the claptrap, you could, decarbonise the electricity system and have safe, reliable baseload power for Australians. But, apparently nuclear was too expensive. Go figure.
Just before you go, I want to talk about Bunnings. I know you're a Bunnings fan. I'm a Bunnings fan as well. Their CEO, Rob Scott, he has issued a warning saying Australia is at, quote, a tipping point due to high inflation, sagging productivity. And he said the government has to work with business to solve it. He's absolutely 100% correct. Do you think Jim Chalmers is listening?
Well, perhaps eventually Jim Chalmers will listen to all this stuff, and I'm concerned about so many business failures, and particularly when you start seeing prominent brands like Barbecues Galore going down, you really do have to worry. And the opportunity here, though, Steve, is that this is going to Angus Taylor and the Coalition to start hammering these points.
Yep.
And I was reassured that in the last week, they actually have started to talk about things that the Liberal Party should talk about. And my only extra bit of advice is keep doing it, but be absolutely unequivocal. If you're asked about immigration and you're saying it's too high, set the number. Stop mucking about. If you want to talk about small business and how to unleash it and let it go, give us the specifics.
100%.
If you want to talk about tax, give us the specifics. If you don't want ISIS brides coming back in Australia, say it. I mean, Albanese got away this week with the most ridiculous nonsense, saying, you made your bed, you got to live and lie in it. This is the guy in 2022 who was supporting them coming home, and clearly the government is supporting them coming back.
Oh,
so
of course they are.
Be unequivocal, be straight down the line, and they will be rewarded, particularly in terms of talking about the impact on business and productivity.